Hello, it's Alara Varel here from Be Water, and today I got up at 7 a.m. to interview the beautiful Kendall Wood from San Diego. Kendall has just set up her own yoga business just a month ago called the Chill Yogi, and in the interview she's going to be talking to us about how she set it up, the difficulties, finances, marketing, social media, her inspiration and advice that she's giving out to people who also want to follow the same path. I think you're going to really enjoy this interview, so I'll see you on the other side. Hello.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
Doing good. Just getting some stuff done around the house before bed.
Yeah, thank you for staying up so long.
I always go to bed like around midnight, so this is normal for me.
Oh, okay, good. I don't need to feel bad. Yeah, I set my alarm because it's like 7 o'clock right now. So I was like,
gosh,
I'm gonna get up early. Huh? Sorry.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
I'm one day ahead of you. Cool. Yeah, so I just want to introduce you. So we have Kendall Wood here, and Kendall Wood is a yoga teacher. So, Kendall, could you please just tell me about where exactly you're based and a bit about your yoga business? So, what is it, and yeah, just describe it.
Yeah, totally. So I'm based in San Diego, California, and just recently have switched over to being a full-time yoga teacher. I've been doing it part-time for a while, and then over the last month I've decided to make it into a full-time job. So that's kind of taken a little bit of a leap of faith, but I'm ready for what is to come.
How have you found the transition between like doing it part-time and like doing it as a full-time thing? How's it worked out for you?
So far, so good. I have really enjoyed teaching yoga for a long time, and it just kind of got to a point where I felt like I was spreading myself too thin.
Yeah.
Like, to reach my full potential as a yoga teacher, I had to leave my other job and at least give it a chance.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I'm definitely still in the beginning stages of having my own business, but I feel like it's a really exciting point because I feel like I'm at this spot where I've like decided to let go of the fear that's been like holding me back from it.
Yeah.
And just throw myself out there and see if I can turn it into a career that maybe, like, hopefully will be a lifelong thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's such a big step, and a lot of the time it's like people don't even take that big step because of the fear, and being bounded by that fear is like such a toxic thing because you never get to reach your full potential. So well done for even taking that step. What was your inspiration to become a yoga teacher? Why do you enjoy it so much?
So I think I've always really enjoyed giving back, and I always hoped to find a career path that would allow me to kind of like enrich other people's lives and make them happy. And so teaching yoga, just like, it was something I thought about doing since I was like 15 years old. Mm. And then it took me until I was 23, 24 to actually go for it. And I think it really is that giving back. Like at the end of class, when people leave the room happy and smiling, like I feel so good and just feel like I'm making a difference in people's lives and hopefully creating a ripple effect that will better the world in a way. And that's why I really love doing it.
Yeah, definitely. And, I totally get what you mean by that kind of like you feel so good when you know that they're leaving happy. You just kind of like got that heartwarming feeling. I'm about to, so in November I'm going off to Bali to do my yoga teacher training as well. So I'm really excited about that and see what's to come because I do a load of yoga in my personal time, but I want to kind of like share it and like teach other people as well. So,
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you, just out of interest, how do you find it, like, the difference between just doing it in your own time and teaching it? Like, do you get the same kind of feeling, or is it, like, totally, like, is it different things you enjoy about just doing it in your own time and teaching it to other people?
So there's definitely pros and cons. Like, since doing my teacher training, it's really hard to go to a yoga class and not
Criticize.
be like, critiquing. Like, it's really hard to be like, man, like they could have said that differently, or maybe like that transition could have been smoother or whatever. And so it's important to, I don't know, I'm trying to learn how to turn that off.
Yeah.
And just focus on the things that you learn too, because that's another great thing is like every time you go to a class, you're picking up little things that you like, things that you don't like, and kind of creating your own style based on what you like or don't like from other teachers.
Yeah.
You know, so you can kind of pick like, oh, like that sequence was really cool. I really enjoyed like doing those 3 poses in that order. I'm going to work that into my class this week. Or you might say the opposite. You might say, wow, that was really awkward and weird. I'm never going to do that, but at least now I know I gave it a try.
Yeah.
Or something. So, but the shift is that every class you go to is almost like a learning experience, and it's kind of harder to just be in the moment, which is kind of the whole point of doing yoga. So just, I think something that I try to do is just remind myself when I'm in class, if I notice myself critiquing or I notice myself wanting to like take notes while I'm in class, that sometimes I need to just turn that off, focus my mind, and like reach that more like meditative state, just because otherwise like the whole reason I loved yoga in the first place kind of would go away if I don't make an effort to keep that.
And it's nice that you kind of like keep on inspiring yourself by going to other classes, because I think, you know, as a yoga teacher, you going to new classes and learning different stuff, like you say, you kind of like, oh, maybe I'll incorporate that into my class this week. It's like using that as a fuel to keep you going and keep your creativity up for your own class. Do you have any other ways that just are your driving force to keep the momentum going for your creativity in your classes, rather than just to make it like really monotone and kind of the same routine every week? Like, where is it that you get your inspiration from for each class?
Yeah, so that is something that's been huge for me, especially because I've only been teaching yoga for about a year and a half. And so my focus right now is like hugely on education, educating myself and staying really committed to growing as a teacher and as a yoga student. So definitely reading is a big one. I just recently read a book called Eastern Body, Western Mind. It's by a woman. Have you heard of it before?
No.
Oh, it's really interesting. It's about the chakras and comparing and contrasting the Eastern world view of like how to look at the body versus the Western view. And so it kind of incorporates the chakras, different personality types, human development, and then it mentions yoga as well. So it's a really cool book. I just read that.
Wow.
I also been reading like yoga anatomy books. That's one thing that's been really hard for me, is learning all the names of all the muscle groups
Yeah, I find
and stuff. That is kind of overwhelming for me. So that's something that I've been dedicating some time to. I'm actually doing an anatomy workshop in about 6 weeks with one of my favorite instructors here in San Diego. And he's a physical therapist and a yoga teacher. And so he has a wealth of knowledge that I hope to soak up a little bit of. But when it comes to like, it kind of comes back to like growing as a entrepreneur, as a yoga teacher, like creating your own business, you have to have all these different skills and this broad scope of knowledge about yoga, about anatomy, about the systems in the body, maybe like healthy eating, a little bit of like spiritual side of yoga. And so trying to encompass all of that,
definitely
continue learning about all of that is so important.
Yeah, you have to kind of like be a bundle of knowledge, because, you know, to have your own business, it's kind of like standing out quite a lot from the crowd. What is it that made you decide that you wanted to have your own business rather than join to another business? Why was that decision made?
Why have my own business rather than work for someone else? Is that right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well, since I was a little kid, I've kind of always had that idea that I wanted to have my own business. My dad owns his own company and has worked for himself since he was in his mid-20s, as a like custom home builder. So he builds houses, but they're like custom houses for particular clients. And obviously a very different realm than yoga, but I always really enjoyed seeing him, seeing how passionate he was about being able to create something and like create a product himself, work hard on it, and just be proud when he like sells the house or whatever. Like it was kind of almost like an art form for him. And so just growing up with a dad that was an entrepreneur, I think kind of planted that seed in me at a young age.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because same with my dad as well. My dad, like in his mid-20s, he kind of like left his job to kind of make his own business, like outdoor instructing business. And like even though I'm not exactly wanting to be like an outdoor instructor, it's still like the same kind of thing. Like he employed people and he was kind of like having the overlook and like planning how everything worked. And I think like once you see that, it's such a nice lifestyle because you kind of get to control what your day goes by like, and you know, you if you don't like it, you change it to how you want it to be. So yeah, I can totally see what you mean about that. And how do you find it with like, because San Diego, I'm guessing there's quite a lot of yoga teachers and lots of businesses around as well. How is it with the competition, and like how do you feel the pressure of that?
Yeah, especially for me as a newer person, I try to look at it as an advantage almost, because I get to be around so many really experienced instructors, and there's a lot to learn from them. So there's a big wealth of knowledge in San Diego, and like I hope to even just like tap into that a little bit and get to learn and grow from these other teachers that have been in the industry for a long time.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely a really nice way of looking at it, like, because seeing them as like people to learn from and grow from rather than as someone you have to compete with. That's that's definitely a much more friendly way of looking at it.
Yeah.
And so how long has it been since you've like officially kind of become a business?
So definitely at the beginning. I've only been like a full-time teacher for about a month.
Okay.
And then I've been part-time for almost 2 years, like a year and a half, 2 years.
Nice.
And so it's still very new, but I've found that once I put myself out there, there's other people that will come meet me where I'm at. Like I've gotten some really wonderful opportunities just kind of on a whim. Like I teach to a group of women just like a few blocks from my house that I ended up connecting with through Facebook. And now I teach with them every week, and that's been one of my actual like bigger sources of income because it's a private class, so I'm not like constricted to like the price that a studio will pay me. I can kind of have my own flexibility. So I'm working right now on building up more of those type of clients. Where like private groups or corporate clients that I can work with.
Yeah, and I guess you can get like and I guess you can get really creative with like the different ways you can source income, like teaching and get private lessons and even online workshop and Facebook Lives and stuff. Like there's so many different possibilities.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like just starting to tap into it.
Yeah.
Like starting to build my blog more. I've been on social media for a while, but it's really hard to grow followers on Instagram, like harder than I thought.
Yeah.
So I'm working with that, and just really trying to like spend a lot of my free time. Like I've been writing more to build some content for my blog, so I'll have more stuff to post in the next few weeks. And I also recently connected with some other local teachers in San Diego, and I'm going to post about the yoga retreats that they're hosting.
Oh, nice.
Just to kind of just bring in that like sense of community and help each other out. Like they're helping me build content for my blog, and I'm helping them get the word out about their retreats.
Yeah, definitely. So. And then you can start sharing followers as well. Let's talk about that a little bit actually, because a lot of the time when I asked like what was the difficulties of like starting to build your own business, finances is always a big one. if you need like a big boost of cash to kind of like get your business going. And also like social media, getting your name out there, marketing is like, because a lot of the time like most of the advertising happens online, and if you're not online, you basically don't exist. Like the people you can reach out to online is like so much bigger, thousands bigger, much more than, you know, if you were just kind of putting a poster up in the street. So how have you found that? What difficulties have you faced while getting to the stage you're at now? So, you know, it doesn't have to be just finances or social media, but a lot of the time that's stuff that people do struggle with. So yeah, I just wanted to know your experience with it.
So I think for me, since my product is kind of myself, the finance side of it isn't as big of an issue. Like I don't need to go out and buy a bunch of product in hopes that I can sell it. Yeah. So that's good. I don't feel as much of a financial burden. There is definitely a shift from like having a steady income to kind of building my own income. That's something I'm going to have to adapt to, but I've been saving up for a little while, so I feel good for now.
Yeah.
And then as far as social media, that's definitely been a process, but I've had my Instagram for about 2 years, probably just over 2 years, and I've had my website for about a year.
Okay.
And I do feel like once you have those kind of that online presence, it kind of validates you as a business in a way.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I have business cards that I hand out to somebody and send them to my website, which is I just use WordPress, but it's a pretty like professional looking website with a lot of information about me, my class schedule, etc., so they can get in touch with me. Mm-hmm. And that's been a really good tool to reach out. I think maybe the hardest thing I've found is just like building content from, like, at first I was like, oh, I'll just start a blog. It'll be easy. I'll just write for it all the time. Yeah. And like finding the time to actually sit down and write and create interesting content is really hard. So I haven't been posting nearly as much as I want to. But now I've been brainstorming ideas for my next like 10 blog posts, and then I'm going to build up those and then hopefully be able to post on a regular basis for a little while with the stuff I've built up. And I guess for anyone starting out, I would recommend, if you're going to start a blog, to have a lot of content ready before you go live, because that's something that I wish I had done.
Yeah, because inspiration isn't something that you can plan, is it? It's just kind of just comes when it comes, and best to make the most of it when it does come. What's been the most effective social media platform where you've got the most response from, where it's been the most effective with the whole marketing side?
I would say Instagram, definitely. I think photos have a really nice way of capturing people's attention. Yeah, so definitely. By drawing them in with a picture, hopefully will lead them to like reading the captions, maybe clicking onto my website link, which on my WordPress, like I get a lot of click-throughs from my Instagram. So that's one of the biggest sources of traffic to my blog is from my Instagram account. So I think that that's a big deal. And I also do like how Instagram will like recommend people in your area, because I see a lot of other San Diego teachers that will follow me, just probably because I show up on their feed and like I follow them and vice versa. So it's kind of a nice little way to start to build community, and then people who will like and comment on your stuff, and you'll like and comment on their stuff, and then you get to kind of help each other out.
Yeah, because it's a virtual platform. It's not that you're not seeing these people face to face, but you're trying to build a genuine relationship, like where you can, you know, make yourself come across as a lovely person that they would want to, you know, hopefully spend money on. And I think, you know, photos really help with that, because they can actually see you. They can like see the energy that they get from you. So yeah, I agree with that. So as a yoga teacher, I know, like for me as well, it's really important to get the balance between making sure that you're happy, you've got a happy mind, happy body, got a nice routine going. But then you're also trying to get your business as well, and the business takes up a lot of time. How do you balance your personal time with all the work that needs to go into your business? Like, do you have a set routine that you find really effective, or any habits that you stick to?
Yeah, I would say I wish I had a set routine, but I don't. But definitely, like, one thing, this sounds kind of silly, but one thing I've started doing is I go and get a massage every month now.
Really?
And I guess that's almost a routine. Like, that's been my self-care ritual for the last, like, 6 months. And it's probably one of the best things I've ever decided to do. So just knowing that my day-to-day life is kind of hectic and I'm driving from different studios or different clients, and like from home to there, dealing with traffic, like trying to find time to eat. Like, sometimes my days are really crazy. But right now I have at least one full day off a week. And then there's a couple days where I only teach one class.
Yeah.
So I have a little bit of free time where I can, like, work on my writing or just spend time with friends and, like, relax.
Yeah.
So that self-care is so important to me. Even, like, tonight I spent the last, like, 3 hours just, like, I'm just home, relaxing, kind of getting stuff done around the house, like making sure everything's, like, clean and nice.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow will be kind of for my blog, whatever day. But that self-care, like going to get a massage, putting on a face mask, like reading a book on my patio or something, like that is what keeps me going.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And I think that's really good that you do take that into account, and, like, it's something to look forward to, isn't it? But yeah, I think with
totally,
with personal, like, businesses, entrepreneurs that, like, run their own businesses, it's really easy for, like, the business to go, like, way above you, and it just kind of, like, takes over your whole life. And if you don't kind of say self-care really is a priority for me, then it can turn into sleepless nights, no eating, no sleeping, and it just kind of gets into a big whirlpool until you're like, I need to take a break. So yeah, I think that's for any entrepreneurs, I think it's really important, like, even if they're not into yoga, but just kind of any kind of business owner out there, they need to, sometimes you need to just kind of take a step back and be like, I need to have a break.
Totally. It's important to work hard and be dedicated, but it's also important to take care of yourself, because you are, like, when you're an entrepreneur, like, you are the business, you're the future of your business. And if you get burnt out and you get tired and you start to, like, not enjoy what you are doing, then the business will suffer because of that. So super, super important, I think, for everybody, no matter what you do, that like self-care, self-love is so important. I think in the yoga world, it's maybe more prevalent because that's kind of what we teach in yoga, is that, like, self-care.
Yeah.
So for other industries, it's probably a little bit harder. But it's important. Just an important thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, definitely. And just before we finish, do you have any any other final bits of advice for anyone wanting to become a yoga teacher, like make their own business in becoming a yoga teacher? Maybe they're at the stage of having the idea, but they haven't done anything like material that you can actually hold with your hand to that step. So do you have any advice for, like, the transition of the idea into an actual real business?
I think a lot of some things that I've read say, like, you have to plan, like, have a plan, whatever. My mindset is just do it. If you have an idea and you think it's good, give it a try. Like, put yourself out there, give it a try, and that's the only way you're ever going to find out if it works. Like, you can sit around all day doubting yourself, thinking that the timing is not quite right yet, or like something could be better, or maybe I could have like it's good to have a little bit of money saved up so that you don't end up like homeless.
Yeah.
But you don't need to have like $1 million in the bank and like everything perfect. Like just, just go for it.
Yeah.
Let go of the fear and give it a try. And that's something that I've been talking about a lot just this week in my life, is that like you can always come back to where you are. Like where you are in this moment is great. It's comfortable. It's good. You can always come back to it. But I personally don't want to look back on my life and be like, wow, I did the same thing every day, every week, like whatever. Like I want to look back and be like, wow, I even if I fail at this, I gave it a shot. So for any entrepreneur or any like aspiring yoga teacher or whatever it is, just do it. Give it at least like 6 months or something and see what you can do. Really put your heart into it. And I believe that when you put your heart into something, that the universe will kind of give you that energy back.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's what will happen.
Yeah. Taking action is more important than it being perfect, because you can always perfect it later on once you've taken the action.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast today about a girl who was a writer, and she was talking about like releasing her book for the first time to the public and how scared she was, and how you can go back and you can edit every sentence over and over again, and every time you read it, you're going to find something wrong or something that could be said better, and you can just do that until you go crazy.
Yeah. Was the podcast
but at some point you have to just say like, okay, like good enough, throw it out there, and just like see if people like it or not.
Yeah. Who was the podcast by?
Yeah. It's called. Let me look it up real quick I have my little phone. I just started listening to it. I listened to the second episode today. It's called She Explores.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's a cool podcast. It's
the woman's name isn't Juliet Lever, is it?
What?
The woman who does it, her name isn't Juliet Lever, is it? Lever.
I don't. One second, I'm so bad with names. Let me see if I can look it up.
Because yeah, my mentor, she's Juliet Lever, and she's just gone through exactly the same thing in the last month. She's like released her book, and she was like, I had to get over my perfectionism thing, because like at the end of the day you have to give it out. So she gave a date of when the book was going to be released, and that was her deadline for herself. So whether the book was perfect in her mind or not, she had to, that was her deadline for her. So I was just wondering if you're listening to the same one, because she's just released a podcast as well.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so the girl who hosts She Explores, her name is Gail Straub.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not the same person.
So it's something different, but along the same lines. It's an awesome podcast. It's about like women travelers who go like backpacking or like live out of their van and explore the world. Like it's pretty inspiring.
Nice. Wow. Thank you so much. And if people wanted to contact you or find out more about your business, do you just want to like maybe just give how would they find out more about you?
Yeah, so if you want to find out more about me, you can check out my website, which is www.thechillyogi.com, or I'm on Instagram at the Chill Yogi. So the Chill Yogi.
I love that name. Oh, thank you so much. It was such a good conversation talking to you, Kendall. And hopefully you have a nice evening tidying your house, and good luck with your business.
Awesome, yeah, nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you too. Take care. Bye.
All right, see you. Bye.